Welcome to another wishlist video where I will show some cars I would like to see make a return to Forza for Horizon 5. Previously I chose some cars from previous Horizon games I'd like to see, and then a list of cars that have been in motorsport games but not in Horizon, at least since this Xbox One generation of games so far. But there were plenty of cars I left out in order to keep the list to a manageable size. In this video I chose another 20 from both categories that I'd personally like to see come back to Horizon 5. I put them in alphabetical order by manufacturer so I didn't have to try ranking them. First off is the 1990 Renault Alpine GTA Le Mans. This is a beautiful looking car with a wide aggressive looking fenders to cover its big tires. It has a V6 in the rear, and yes, Renault shouldn't come first if this list is in alphabetical order, but I am considering this an Alpine rather than Renault since the badge on the car is all Alpine. Next is the 1977 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. This is another absolutely beautiful car from Aston Martin, which was referred to as Britain's muscle car. I only omitted it from the previous video because the James Bond card pack in Horizon 4 included a similar looking Aston from 1986. Next is the 1998 Aston Martin V8 Vantage V600 from Horizon 3. This was a super high horsepower car for the time. As the name implies, it has 600 horsepower from a V8 which was supercharged. Next is the 2004 Audi S4 from Motorsport 7. I like the look of this generation S4, and it is a fun car to drive and upgrade. It is understandable why it didn't appear in Horizon games, since the 2006 RS4 has been in all those games, so why include a slower, couple years older, earlier version? But I'd be happy to see it anyway. Next is the 2015 Audi S3 sedan. I like the small sport sedan and find it interesting. It was only in the motorsport games. Actually, I'd like to see them add the faster RS3, but bringing this one over would be cool as well. Next up is the 59 BMW 507. This is a beautiful classic roadster that inspired the styling of the Z8. I like the classics, and the roadsters are especially welcome in a game with free roaming capabilities. Next is the 2000 BMW 323 Ti Sport that was in Motorsport 6. It has a goofy looking stubby rear end, and I didn't know the car existed until seeing it in this game. I like odd and funny looking cars, so I'd welcome this one back. Next is the ugly BMW M6. The later generation M6 was in Horizon games, but this version hasn't made it to any of those games, and I believe Motorsport 7 was the first game it appeared in since Motorsport 4. I love that ridiculous looking rear deck lid. It's also powered by a V10, so a bit of a beast of a car. Next is the 2011 Cadillac CTS-V Coupe. The CTS Coupe had such strange proportions in the back compared to the sedan, but I do like it. I also think the earlier CTS-Vs looked better than the 2016 model we have in Horizon 4. Next up is the 2012 Camaro ZL1. As newer and faster Camaros have been added to the games, the 5th generation Camaro has slipped away. But I'd like to see this ZL1 come back. It looks great, and it's the ultimate 5th gen Camaro. Next is the 2012 Chrysler 300 SRT8. It's a rear-wheel drive V8 sedan with 470 horsepower. It's a shame they stopped making a fast version of the 300 as they focused on Dodge as the performance-oriented brand. Next is the 12 Dodge Challenger SRT8 coming from Horizon 2. I like this version of the Challenger a lot. I do get why it didn't make it to later Horizon games since the more recent and much more powerful Hellcat Challenger showed up, and it doesn't look a whole lot different than the earlier models, but I'd still like to see this one. It is a similar story with the 2012 Charger SRT8, also from Horizon 2, the more recent Hellcat Charger making it the more obvious choice of the two, but as I am a completist when it comes to American muscle, I'd like to see this one returned. Next is the '88 Lamborghini Jalpa. This was an entry-level car from Lamborghini that you could buy at the same time as the much more well-known Countach. It has all the supercar looks, but compared to the Countach, the styling seems a bit reserved. Next up is the 2014 Lexus IS350 F Sport. This is a great looking rear-wheel drive sedan. Most likely this car's absence from Horizon 4 was a symptom of the issues with Toyota licensing. A lot of the Toyotas came later on, but initially Horizon 4 had no Toyota or Lexus other than some highly modified trucks. Next is the 2010 Mazda Speed 3. This was the last Mazda Speed car made, unfortunately. It may be front-wheel drive, but it was a great handling car and can get a bit understeery with power upgrades. Next up is the 2004 Mercedes C32 AMG. I like the look of this generation C-Class a lot, and was happy to see it come back for Motorsport 7. It has a supercharged 6-cylinder with 333 horsepower. Combine that with lightweight and rear-wheel drive, and it makes a winning combination. 2009 Mercedes ML63 AMG. This is another car that made a return from earlier Forza games for Motorsport 7, and SUVs are always appropriate for Horizon games as well. When it comes to Mercedes SUVs, for looks you can't beat the G-Wagon, but I'd blast down the trails in this classy looking SUV with 500 horsepower. Next we have 2000 Plymouth Prowler. It didn't have a ton of muscle, but it looked like nothing else on the road. And as I'm driving around here in Australia in the rain with the roof down, it would be nice to be able to put that cloth top up, since that feature is coming to Horizon 5. Lastly, we have the 93 Porsche 911 Turbo S Leichtbau. Leichtbau translates to light construction, and this version shedded 397 pounds from the standard Turbo S by removing air conditioning, sound deadening, and more. And that concludes this list of 20 more cars from previous Forza games that weren't in Horizon 4, which I would like to see return for Horizon 5. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.